Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Laiba, and I am very happy that you are here with me today. In today's episode, we are going to talk about a very important topic for English learners, and that topic is how to improve your speaking in English. Many people can read English, many people can understand English, many people can write English, but when it is time to speak, they suddenly feel nervous. Sometimes the words disappear, sometimes the mind becomes blank. And sometimes people know the words, but they cannot say them clearly. If you feel this way, you are not alone. So many English learners have the same problem. They want to speak English confidently, but they do not know where to begin. The good news is that speaking English is a skill, and like any other skill, it can improve with practice. You do not need perfect grammar, you do not need a perfect accent, and you do not need difficult vocabulary. What you really need is the right method, daily practice, and confidence. In this podcast, I will share simple and practical ways to help you speak English more clearly and more confidently. These tips will be easy to understand, and you can start using them in your daily life. So if you want to become a better English speaker, stay with me until the end of this episode. Let's begin our journey to better English speaking together. Before we learn how to improve speaking, it is important to understand one thing. Why does speaking English feel so difficult? Many English learners ask themselves this question. They study for months, sometimes even for years, but when they try to speak, it still feels hard. One common reason is fear of making mistakes. Many people worry about saying the wrong word. They worry about wrong grammar. They worry that other people may laugh. Because of this fear, they stay silent. But silence does not help speaking improve. Another reason is lack of confidence. Some learners know many English words. They understand sentences, but they do not trust themselves. They think, my English is not good. I cannot speak well. Others speak better than me. These negative thoughts can stop progress. Another problem is translating from your own language. Many learners first think in their native language, then they translate into English, then they speak. This process takes time, and it can make speaking slow and unnatural. Sometimes the correct words do not come quickly. That can create frustration. The next reason is not enough real speaking practice. Some people only read books, some only watch videos, some only learn grammar. But speaking is different. You cannot improve speaking only by studying. You improve speaking by speaking. And another reason is shyness. Some people feel embarrassed when speaking English, especially in front of other people. They may worry, what if my pronunciation is wrong? What if people do not understand me? This fear can make the mouth quiet even when the mind knows the answer. The truth is simple. Speaking English feels difficult because it is a skill, and every skill feels difficult in the beginning. But difficult does not mean impossible. It only means you need practice in the right way. And that is exactly what we will talk about next. Now let us talk about something very important, and that is daily speaking practice. If you want to improve your English speaking, practice must become part of your daily life. Many learners make one common mistake. They study English only once or twice a week. Then they stop for many days. After that, they start again. This makes progress very slow. Speaking is like exercise. If you go to the gym one time, your body will not change immediately. But if you exercise a little every day, your body becomes stronger. English speaking works in the same way. Your mouth needs practice. Your tongue needs practice. Your brain needs practice. When you speak English every day, your brain starts becoming faster. Words come more easily, sentences become smoother, and speaking feels more natural. Even 10 to 15 minutes every day can make a big difference. You do not need to practice for hours. Small practice every day is better than long practice once a week. For example, you can speak English when you wake up in the morning, while cooking food, while walking, while looking in the mirror before sleeping at night. These small moments can become powerful practice. Daily speaking also helps reduce fear. At first, speaking may feel uncomfortable, but when you do it every day, it becomes normal. And when speaking becomes normal, confidence starts growing. Another benefit of daily practice is memory. When you use words often, you remember them better. When you repeat phrases often, they stay in your mind longer. This helps you speak more quickly later. Remember this simple idea: the more you speak, the easier speaking becomes. Perfection is not the goal. Consistency is the goal. Speak a little every day, and slowly your English will become stronger, because daily practice can change everything. Now let us talk about another powerful way to improve your English speaking, and that is learning to think in English instead of translating. Many English learners have the same habit. First, they think in their own language, then they translate the sentence into English, and after that, they speak. This may seem normal, but it creates a problem. It makes speaking slow, it can make you feel confused, and sometimes the right words do not come at the right time. That is why many learners pause too much while speaking. Their brain is working too hard. It is trying to translate every single sentence. But fluent speakers usually do not translate. They think directly in English, and that is why they speak more naturally. The good news is that you can train your brain to do the same. You do not need to start with difficult sentences. Start with very simple thoughts. For example, in the morning you can think, I am waking up. I need water. Today is busy. I am making breakfast. These are small sentences, but they help your brain begin using English naturally. You can also describe what you see around you. For example, the room is quiet. My phone is on the table. The weather is nice today. This simple habit can slowly change your thinking. Another good method is asking yourself small questions in English. For example, what should I do now? What do I want to eat? Where am I going today? Then answer yourself in English. This creates real speaking practice inside your mind. At first, it may feel difficult. That is completely normal. Your brain needs time to adjust. But little by little, English will start coming faster. And when you think in English, speaking becomes easier. Because you are no longer translating, you are simply expressing your thoughts. And that is one of the biggest steps toward speaking English more fluently. Now let us talk about something that can truly change your English speaking, and that is building a strong speaking habit. Many people want to speak English well, but they only practice when they feel motivated. Some days they practice, some days they do nothing. This makes improvement slow. The truth is simple. Improvement comes from habit, not only motivation. A habit means doing something regularly without thinking too much. And when speaking English becomes a habit, progress becomes easier. So how can you build this habit? The first step is to speak every day, even for a few minutes. You do not need a long conversation. You only need regular practice. Even 5 or 10 minutes can help. The second step is to connect English to your daily routine. For example, you can speak English after waking up, while brushing your teeth, while cooking, while driving, before sleeping. When you connect English to daily activities, it becomes easier to continue. Another powerful habit is to talk to yourself in English. This may feel strange at first, but it works very well. You can say things like, now I am making tea. I need to answer my messages. Today I feel tired. This helps your mouth and brain work together. You can also build the habit by describing your surroundings. Look around and speak. For example, the window is open. My bag is on the chair. The room feels warm. These simple sentences create daily speaking practice. Another useful idea is to choose a fixed speaking time each day. Maybe morning, maybe afternoon, maybe night. When you practice at the same time every day, the habit becomes stronger. Remember, habits grow slowly. At first it may feel difficult, but after some time, speaking English will feel natural. And once speaking becomes part of your daily life, improvement becomes much faster. Because successful English learners do not only study English, they make English a part of their life. Now let us talk about something many learners worry about, and that is pronunciation. Some people feel afraid to speak because they think their pronunciation is not good. They worry that others may not understand them, or they worry that their accent is not perfect. But here's something important to remember. You do not need a perfect accent. You only need clear pronunciation. The goal is not to sound exactly like a native speaker. The goal is to speak so people can understand you easily. One of the best ways to improve pronunciation naturally is to listen carefully. Before speaking clearly, you must hear clearly. Listen to English podcasts. Listen to interviews. Listen to short videos. Pay attention to how words sound. Notice how native speakers move from one word to another. Sometimes English words sound different in real conversation. For example, want to often sounds like wanna. Going to often sounds like gonna. Hearing these patterns can help your pronunciation improve. Another powerful method is called shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a short sentence and repeating it immediately. Try to copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, the stress, the tone. For example, if you hear, "How are you today?" pause and repeat it the same way. This trains your mouth to copy natural English sounds. Another useful tip is to speak slowly. Many learners speak too fast. When you speak too fast, pronunciation becomes unclear. Slow speaking helps your words sound better. Clear speaking is better than fast speaking. You can also practice difficult words many times. Break the word into smaller parts. For example, comfortable can become calm, fort, a, blay. Repeat it slowly first, then say it naturally. And one more helpful idea is to record your voice. Listen to yourself speaking. You may notice sounds that need improvement. This can help you hear your own mistakes. Remember this: good pronunciation comes from listening and repeating, not from worrying. The more you listen and the more you copy, the more natural your pronunciation will become. Now let us talk about another smart way to improve your English speaking, and that is learning useful speaking phrases. Many learners spend a lot of time memorizing single words, and learning words is important. But in real conversation, people usually speak in phrases, not in single words. For example, instead of learning only the word think, you can learn the full phrase, "I think so." Instead of only learning understand, you can learn "I understand what you mean." This makes speaking easier because your brain remembers complete sentences, and when you remember phrases, you can speak faster. You do not need to build every sentence from the beginning. You already have ready-made language in your mind. Some useful everyday phrases can help in many situations. For greetings, you can say, "How are you?" "Nice to see you." "How's your day going?" To give your opinion, you can say, "I think," "In my opinion," "I believe." To ask for help, you can say, "Can you explain that again?" "Could you say that slowly?" "What does that mean?" To continue a conversation, you can say, "Really? That sounds interesting. Tell me more." These small phrases can make your conversation sound more natural. Another benefit is confidence. When you know common phrases, you feel less nervous because you already know what to say. One good habit is to learn 3 new phrases every day. Write them down, say them aloud, and use them in your daily speaking practice. For example, you can practice by saying, "I'm not sure." "That makes sense." "Let me think." These are simple, but very useful. Remember this: fluent speakers do not always know difficult words. Very often, they simply know the right phrases. And learning useful phrases can make your English sound more natural and more confident. Now let us talk about something that many English learners struggle with, and that is confidence. Sometimes a person knows English, they understand many words, they know grammar, but when it is time to speak, fear appears. The voice becomes quiet, the mind becomes blank, and the confidence disappears. The truth is that confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes from speaking. The more you speak, the more confident you become. One important step is to accept mistakes. Many learners want to speak perfectly. Because of that, they become afraid. But mistakes are a normal part of learning. Every English speaker makes mistakes. Even advanced learners make mistakes sometimes. Mistakes are not failure, mistakes are practice. Another helpful step is to speak slowly. Some learners think fast speaking means good speaking. That is not true. Speaking slowly can make you sound more confident. It gives your brain time to choose words, and it helps other people understand you better. You can also build confidence by using simple English. You do not need difficult vocabulary. You do not need long sentences. Simple sentences can be powerful. For example, instead of saying something complicated, you can say, "I understand. I agree with you. Can you repeat that?" Simple language can still sound confident. Another powerful method is to practice in a safe place. Speak alone first, speak in front of a mirror, record your voice, talk to a trusted friend. These small steps can reduce fear. You can also celebrate small progress. Maybe today you spoke one sentence. Tomorrow you speak 3 sentences. That is progress. Confidence grows little by little. And one very important thing is this: stop waiting to feel ready. Many learners say, "I will speak when my English becomes better." But speaking is what makes English better. You become confident by using the language, not by avoiding it. Remember this simple truth: confidence is built through action. The more you speak, the stronger your confidence becomes. Now let us talk about some of the best practice methods that can help you improve your English speaking faster. Many learners ask the same question: how can I improve quickly? The answer is simple. You need the right practice methods, not just more study. One of the best methods is to record your voice. Choose a simple topic. For example, my daily routine, my favorite food, my plans for tomorrow. Then speak for 1 or 2 minutes and record yourself. After that, listen carefully. You may notice unclear pronunciation, repeated words, long pauses, grammar mistakes. This helps you understand what needs improvement. Another great method is mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and speak in English. Look at your face while speaking. This helps you improve confidence, improve body language, feel more comfortable speaking. It may feel strange at first, but it works very well. Another useful method is to find a speaking partner. Practice with a friend, a classmate, an online language partner. Real conversation helps you think faster. It also teaches you how to respond naturally. Even short conversations can improve your speaking. You can also use the shadowing method again. Listen to a short English sentence, pause it, then repeat it exactly. Try to copy, pronunciation, rhythm, tone. This improves natural speaking quickly. Another powerful method is to speak about your day. At the end of the day, say, "Today I woke up early. I went to the market. I learned something new." This turns your real life into speaking practice. And finally, use English speaking apps. Some apps can help you practice pronunciation talk with other learners, build speaking confidence. Technology can become a useful teacher. Remember this: the best practice is not difficult. The best practice is the practice you do regularly. Simple methods done every day can create fast improvement. Now we are at the end of today's podcast. And before we finish, I want to tell you something very important. Improving your English speaking is not something that happens in one day. It is a journey. Some days you will feel good. Some days you will feel slow, and that is completely normal. The most important thing is to keep going. Do not stop speaking just because you made mistakes. Do not stop because you feel shy. Every small step matters. Even one sentence a day can make a difference. Remember, fluency is not about being perfect. It is about being able to express your ideas clearly. You already have everything you need to start. You just need practice, patience, and consistency. So speak every day. Use simple words. Build your confidence step by step, and trust yourself, because you are improving even if it feels slow. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. This is Laiba, and I hope you continue your English speaking journey with confidence and courage. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching Talk Smart English. 3, Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Take care and goodbye.